The year was 1888. London, a city of grandeur and progress, was shrouded in a thick, impenetrable fog. The gas lamps flickered dimly, casting eerie shadows on the cobblestone streets. A cold dread settled upon London. The air was thick with fear, and the once bustling streets were now deserted as night fell. The city, once a symbol of progress and enlightenment, now trembled in fear. The fog seemed to carry whispers of terror, and every shadow held a potential threat. A specter haunted its fog-choked streets. This was no ordinary ghost story, this was a tale of real horror. A name whispered in hushed tones, Jack the Ripper. The mere mention of his name sent shivers down the spines of Londoners. His crimes? A string of brutal murders, each more gruesome than the last. The victims? Women, the poor and vulnerable. They were found in the most horrific conditions, their lives snuffed out in a brutal fashion. Their lives extinguished in the most horrific ways imaginable. The brutality of the murders shocked even the most hardened detectives. Jack the Ripper's reign of terror was short, but its impact was profound. Newspapers splashed his deeds across their front pages, and the public was gripped by a mix of fear and morbid curiosity. The East End, a labyrinth of poverty and despair, became synonymous with his evil. The narrow, winding streets seemed to close in, trapping the residents in a nightmare. The Ripper became a symbol of the city's dark underbelly, a reminder that even in the heart of civilization, darkness could prevail. His presence was a stark contrast to the city's image of progress and modernity. His crimes continue to fascinate and horrify to this day. The mystery of his identity remains unsolved, adding to the chilling allure of his story. Who was this monster who stalked the night? The question lingers unanswered as the fog of history obscures the truth. The first victim was Mary Ann Nichols. She was a woman of humble means, struggling to survive in the harsh streets of Whitechapel. On the night of August 31st, 1888, her life was brutally cut short. Her life, cut short on a bleak August night. The streets of London, already shrouded in fog and mystery, became even more ominous with her death. Her throat slashed, her body mutilated. The city was shocked. The brutality of the crime was unlike anything the police had ever seen. It was a scene of unimaginable horror. This was no ordinary crime. The methodical nature of the attack suggested a killer with a deep-seated rage and a chilling precision. This was something far more sinister. The city of London was about to be gripped by a reign of terror that would leave an indelible mark on its history. Annie Chapman was the next to fall prey to the Ripper's blade. Just over a week later, on September 8th, 1888, she was found in a similar state of horror. Her throat also slashed, her body bearing the marks of a madman. The brutality was escalating. The police were baffled. Fear gripped the city. The residents of Whitechapel were living in constant fear, unsure of who would be next. Elizabeth Stride and Catherine Eddowes met their fate on the same night. The night of September 30th, 1888 would be remembered as one of unimaginable horror. A night of unimaginable horror. Two women, brutally murdered within hours of each other, their bodies left as grim reminders of the Ripper's presence. The Ripper was becoming bolder, more brazen. His attacks were more frequent, his methods more gruesome. The city was paralyzed with fear. The city was on edge. Every shadow, every stranger was a potential threat. The police were under immense pressure to catch the killer, but he remained elusive. People were terrified to walk the streets alone, especially at night. The once bustling streets of Whitechapel were now deserted after dark as fear took hold of the community. The final victim, Mary Jane Kelly, suffered the most gruesome death of all. On November 9, 1888, her mutilated body was discovered in her own room, a scene of such horror that it shocked even the most hardened detectives. Her mutilated body discovered in her own room. The details too horrific to recount. The Ripper's reign of terror had reached its bloody climax. The details too horrific to recount. The Ripper had left his mark, a mark of pure evil that would haunt the city for generations. The Ripper had left his mark. His identity remains a mystery, but his legacy of fear and brutality endures, a mark of pure evil. The story of Jack the Ripper is a chilling reminder of the darkness that can lurk in the human soul. Amidst the terror, something chilling emerged. Letters. These letters, written in a scrawling hand, were sent to the police and newspapers, each one more disturbing than the last. Letters sent to the police signed Jack the Ripper. They were filled with taunts and gruesome details of the murders. Were they genuine? Or the work of a sick mind seeking notoriety? The authenticity of these letters has been debated for over a century. The letters, filled with dark humor and chilling boasts, sent shivers down the spines of even the most hardened investigators. They were a mix of mockery and menace, designed to instill fear. The Dear Boss letter was the first to arrive. It was this letter that coined the name Jack the Ripper, a name that would become infamous. It mocked the police and promised more killings to come. The letter's tone was both playful and sinister, a chilling combination. The Saucy Jack postcard followed, detailing the double murder of Stride and Eddowes. It was brief but horrifyingly specific, but it was the From Hell letter that truly terrified. This letter was different, more graphic and accompanied by a gruesome token. It arrived with a small box containing a human kidney. The sender claimed it was from one of the victims, Catherine Eddowes. The letter claimed it belonged to Eddowes. The police were horrified. This macabre delivery was a new level of horror. The Ripper was toying with them. Each letter seemed to mock their efforts, making the investigation even more challenging. The letters provided tantalizing clues. But were they misleading? The detectives were left in a constant state of uncertainty. Were they part of a macabre game? The Ripper seemed to enjoy the cat-and-mouse chase, leaving the police frustrated and fearful. To this day, the letters remain a source of endless debate. Were they truly from the Ripper or the work of an opportunistic hoaxer? The mystery endures. Who was Jack the Ripper? The question has haunted historians and amateur sleuths for over a century. Theories abound, some more plausible than others. Was the Ripper a doctor driven mad by a hidden depravity? Some whisper of a royal conspiracy, a desperate attempt to silence scandal. Others point to an American serial killer passing through London during his reign of terror. Each suspect, a piece in a puzzle that refuses to be solved. But the truth remains elusive. The Ripper vanished into the fog as quickly as he arrived, leaving behind a legacy of fear and fascination that endures to this day. Section 5. Fear in Every Shadow. Whitechapel, 1888. Imagine Whitechapel in 1888, a place shrouded in fog and fear. The cobblestone streets, slick with rain, echoing with the footsteps of those who dared to venture out after dark. The gaslights casting long, eerie shadows that danced with every gust of wind. Whispers of the Ripper were everywhere. In the pubs and taverns where men drank away their fear. In the crowded tenements, where families huddled together for safety. Every creak of a floorboard, every rustle of leaves, could send shivers down the spine. Women, especially those who walked alone at night, lived in constant fear. They knew they were targets, prey for the monster lurking in the shadows. The police, despite their best efforts, seemed powerless to stop him. The Ripper's reign of terror may have been brief, but its impact was profound. The murders shocked the world, exposing the dark underbelly of Victorian society. The case became a media sensation, with newspapers publishing lurid accounts of the crimes. The Ripper's identity remains a mystery, despite countless theories and suspects. The case, though officially closed, continues to fascinate and inspire. Books, films, and documentaries explore the murders, seeking answers that may never be found. The Ripper's legacy is one of fear, fascination, and enduring mystery. His crimes serve as a stark reminder of the darkness that can lurk beneath the surface of even the most civilized societies. Today, over a century later, the case of Jack the Ripper continues to intrigue. Modern forensic science, with its advanced techniques, offers a glimmer of hope in the darkness. DNA analysis, though challenging with degraded samples, could potentially identify the killer. Profiling, a relatively new tool in criminal investigation, sheds light on the Ripper's psyche. Experts believe he may have possessed anatomical knowledge based on the precision of his mutilations, but the passage of time remains the biggest obstacle. Evidence is lost, witnesses long gone. The Ripper's secrets may forever be shrouded in the mists of time. Jack the Ripper's story has transcended the realm of true crime and seeped into popular culture. He has become a macabre legend inspiring countless books, films, and television shows. From fictionalized accounts to historical dramas, the Ripper's image looms large. His crimes have been explored in countless novels, each offering a unique interpretation of the killer and his motives. Films have depicted the Ripper's reign of terror, often blurring the lines between fact and fiction. Television shows have devoted entire seasons to unraveling the mystery, captivating audiences with their suspenseful storytelling. This enduring fascination with Jack the Ripper speaks to our primal fears, and our insatiable curiosity about the dark side of human nature, his story serves as a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. The fog that shrouded Whitechapel in 1888 has long since lifted, but the mystery of Jack the Ripper remains. His true identity, his motives, the reasons behind his reign of terror, all remain elusive. Despite countless theories and tireless investigations, the Ripper's secrets have gone with him to the grave. His story serves as a chilling reminder that some mysteries may never be solved. The Ripper's legacy will forever be etched in the annals of history as a symbol of the darkness that can lurk in the shadows, a chilling reminder of the evil that men are capable of. And as long as his crimes remain unsolved, the legend of Jack the Ripper will continue to haunt the streets of London and the imaginations of people around the world.